On this edition of AEW Dark, Jurassic Express are back in action. So is the former TNT champion Miro. Kris Statlander takes on the Bunny. Lance Archer, who faces Miro in Dynamite's main event this week, is also in action, and tonight's main event will see Darby Allin against Konosuke Takeshita. So we kick off this edition of AEW Dark with Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus teaming up once again as they took on the team of Aaron Solo and Lee Johnson of the Nightmare Factory. Not much has been mentioned about that as of late, but it will very soon. So after the match, Jurassic Express back in the saddle. They notch up a long-awaited win in the tag team division, a weight off their shoulders. Jungle Boy stands up on the turnbuckle, Luchasaurus pushing down on the top rope, and Marco Stunt is waving like a maniac. The band is back together and they are looking good after a decent win against Aaron Solo and Lee Johnson. How far can Jurassic Express go? I felt throughout this save they've fallen victim to just jobbing out to some of the bigger teams that I've got bigger plans for, but not for much longer. Up next, Miro in action. Miro goes over. He defeats a debuting Mark Andrews. The Welshman is now all elite. He is part of the AEW roster, and he debuted his underdog gimmick, which got a great rating. But of course, Miro was always going to go off. He did seem off his game, but yet still managed to draw in a 72 in-ring performance there. Well, after the match, Miro doesn't let go of the game over as the bell has rung. It keeps ringing. He looks deadlier than ever as he is set to face Lance Archer on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. The winner facing Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship, which will probably take place at Fight for the Fallen. Who is going to come out on top? Will it be the Bulgarian Brute, or will it be the Motorhawk Monster Lance Archer? Tune in to Dynamite to find out, as before the match, footage was shown of the best friends gearing Kris Statlander up for her match against the Bunny. Warhorse adds his 2 cents, but Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor kind of shoot him down, just glance off his comments, as they know Butcher and Blade more than Warhorse does. They've got Chris's back out there tonight. They all look towards Orange Cassidy, who's sat in the corner. He just sticks his thumb up, and Kris boops him on the nose for good luck. So Kris Statlander in action against Ali, or the Bunny, and it is Kris Statlander that goes over. She beat her in 6:49 after a big bang theory, and about that had decent reaction for the crowd. But subpar wrestling. It's actually not a bad women's match for the women's division here on Dark. As after the match, Kris Statlander and the Bunny continue to brawl as Trent and Chuck Taylor brawl with the Butcher and the Blade. It's chaos. Orange Cassidy and Warhorse race out, overwhelming Butcher, Blade and the Bunny. Another successful night in Dark for the best friends. They are beginning to pick up a bit of momentum. You know, we've got the inclusion now of Kris Statlander and also Warhorse. Where will it take them? Will it take them to the moon and back? We'll have to wait and see. Up next, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, cuts a promo backstage talking about how disgusted she is with everything that's happened over the past couple of weeks in the women's division. She's been here since day one, and look at how she's been treated. Pushed aside for sports entertainers that couldn't make it anywhere else. But all that ends as the DMD era is about to begin this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. So that should be fun. This coming episode of Dynamite is up next. Charles Betts and Kurt Angle are backstage. They head into Mick Foley's office and demand answers as to why the Dark Championship wasn't on the line at Fyter Fest. Where is it? They seem pissed off, and they have every right to be. They don't like being left in the dark. And Foley tries to calm the situation and tells them that he and Tony Khan have come up with a better plan, and all will be revealed on the new AEW show that is set to debut very soon. He asks Bett and Angle to be patient, and he guarantees that whatever is decided, Charles Betts will be included in the discussion. And this seems to satisfy Betts and Angle, but for now. They leave with Foley looking kind of anxious. So as you guessed, I feel like I'm constantly chopping and changing plans with this direction that we're taking with the Internet Championship / Dark Championship. I think we're just going to slash it all together and just go from there, and we'll just have the main championships, but maybe have a trophy alongside that. We'll have to wait and see, as our next match of the evening is a decent match. It's Lance Archer defeating Kip Sabian in 5 minutes 36 after a blackout, bit of a squash match, gearing Lance Archer up for that main event of Dynamite this week, as well as Miro, as we saw. Well, Lance Archer grabs the head of Kip Sabian after the match, looking to pummel it into the canvas. Penelope Ford is on the outside, screaming for him to stop. Miro races out as Lance pushes Kip to one side. Miro and Lance Archer stand toe-to-toe. Then they begin to trade off. Over and over, two horses going at it. Something's got to give. Archer and Miro take the fight to the outside. Refs and security race out, try to break both men monsters up, pulling them apart. This Wednesday, both will collide in the main event. Cannot wait for that. The winner will face Cody at Fight for the Fallen for the TNT Championship. As our main event sees Darby Allin against Konosuke Takeshita, and it's a decent match, and it is Darby Allin that defeats Konosuke in 11 minutes 25 after a coffin drop. We are starting very slowly, getting the name of Konosuke out there. Such a great talent, and one for the future without a doubt. I know he's lost here against Darby Allin, who needs a bit of momentum as of late, but Konosuke, all in good time. This match getting the crowd buzzing. Darby Allin looked good out there with a 77 in-ring performance, and the match gets a 57 overall. So that is this edition of AEW Dark done. We got an overall rating of 59, which is down from last week's brilliant rating, to be honest. We was up in the 60s, and we're not too far out from debuting a new show here in AEW on Monday night. So we're going to have Monday nights, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then obviously the weekend will be for the pay-per-views. Anyway, that is it for Dark. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for AEW Dynamite.